Good day. It is early evening, and this is my first walk since the time change. And it's nice to be out in the evening when it's light. Temperature's about 4 degrees right now, a bit of a breeze, so not too bad. Guess we got a change in the weather coming day after tomorrow, where we're going to see maybe 15 centimeters of snow. So winter ain't over yet. We had another little blast come through Sunday, Monday. My Sunday video, you saw how wet it was, and then of course it all turned to ice. So let's get a bunch of steps in tonight while it's light. I did a lot of moving around at work, so the motivation level to get out was low, but here I am. So I thought maybe I would just do a little walk around some of the golf course, see what's changed since winter, or since the snow melted. It is still winter. Like I said, we're going to see a blast come again later this week. You gotta love how it is with those of us that live on the south-facing side of the street compared to the people on the north side. For them, it still looks like winter. Love to be out when it's sunny, even though I'm kind of a cloudy, gloomy-looking day kind of guy. Those are my favorite days, when it's kind of foggy and damp, and I guess that's the Englishman in me coming out. Everything in the neighborhood looks kind of different now that the snow is disappearing. I think this is, again, like the first walk I've had around the neighborhood in a long time. The transition between winter and spring is not my favorite time of year. Lots of times everything just looks dirty and dusty, and the trees all look scraggly. Love to see the most of the ice is gone, but every now and again there's a gotcha like that one. Too hard to catch, but a military plane flew over. It's pretty high up, so it didn't make the usual noises that they usually do. Seem to be seeing that more frequently now. Must be more training missions going. Got to protect our borders now, right, from the onslaught of invaders from the south. More fake grass. It's kind of funny this time of year. But it does intrigue me, though. A few more houses coming up for sale in the neighborhood, but there still aren't very many. Had some nice buttered chicken and rice for dinner, and got it from Brewster's. It's always good. Again, delivered food is getting too expensive. I think we're gonna either have to plan to pick it up because off the menu is cheaper, or just keep cooking ourselves. But it was delish, and I thought that was a pretty filling meal. So despite my lack of desire, I'm out here walking, trying to walk it off. I wonder what they'll do with this grassy area. The way it's set up, it looks like it's going to remain a grassy area, but who knows? Soon the developers got a hold of it, and they'll turn it into something. Usually condos, or maybe it's set aside for an apartment building. That would be unfortunate for the neighborhood, but it's the way of the world these days. Lots of apartments going up. Hopefully that means more affordable housing for people. Well, the stormwater ponds are still a little iced over. I bet that ice has gotten pretty thin though. And if those clouds are a sign of the weather coming in. downside of the snow melting is see how much the voles have chewed up my front lawn again. I can't believe it. Hardly got a lawn left, and they still managed to eat what was there. That's why I keep looking at these permanent artificial lawns. Permanently green, that is. That wind is blowing. Kind of a sign of a change in the weather too. It can happen pretty fast around here. But as an Albertan, we're used to it. The old wait a minute, the weather will change scenario is just a way of life here. Now this is where my ducks used to live. No more duck dates. A few geese have moved in. Where did they go? Hard to find them. Oh, there they are. And there's one out in the water there somewhere. Yep. Those 50 or so ducks have disappeared. Moved on to better times, I guess. Oh, I feel whooped already. That stupid time change, especially going to daylight savings. No, I don't think it really impacts the body that much, but it sure gets in my head. And I feel like it's killing me. It's crazy. It's just an hour. It's not like I flew to Europe or something. My watch just buzzed 2 kilometers. I'm like, no way, it's got to be further than that. Of course, my watch is always reading less than Runkeeper, so. Oh, that house is for sale. I do not like a red door. That one's almost pink even. I do not like that. Just my opinion. Well, the sun went behind the clouds, so won't be long before it's dark again. Let's enjoy this light while we can. Come out to the golf course here. Let's see what it's like to get onto it. There's one little hill I have to go down that could be slippery. This is the spot here, the tee box. So let's see if we can stay up high here instead of going down in the dip. I do like that these paths are available on the off season from golfing. Makes for a nice urban walk in a big park. At least getting used to it while it just sits idle during this part of the year. Especially since how our tax dollars are paying for a good part of the golf course. The path is flooded out there and we have to go around here. Grass is still pretty soggy around here. And that's a good thing. Keep the moisture in it for as long as it can be there. The seasons of wildfires are getting tiresome. But that is the new normal. You go from flooding to fire all in the same month. My stupid left eye keeps leaking. I don't know why. It's been like that for years. Gets a little bit of wind in it and that one eye is crying like a baby. Well, if the weather people are true to their word, this will all be white again on Thursday. I can hear the Anthony Henday pretty good through the trees there. But overall, you get down here and it's got the nice peace and quiet ratio on the high end. Into the spooky forest. A little creek runs through here, didn't know that. Guess the water's got to go somewhere. little bit of snow around in these shaded areas. I know I have it in my head that it's spring, but it is not. Trying to rush my life away, eh? Geese are slowly making their way back, unless they never left. There's a pair of geese that always nest, or at least they hang around the acreage that's behind our house. I don't know where they put their nest, but, and of course, I have no idea if they're the same geese, but there is a pair of them that always seem to hang around there for the spring. I think they mate for life, don't they? Unless one goes through the engine of a jet. Sorry. I just watched the movie Sully last night when they had that bird strike. But yeah, do they mate for life? Back out in the clearing. If I'm heading towards the strip mall, I go that way. And if I'm heading towards home from the strip mall, I usually go that way. However, let's stick to the golf course. Everything's looking good to walk on, so let's keep at it. I am losing steam here though, so this will get me closer to home by going this way eventually. Ooh, that wind is chilly. I will say though, my gimbal performs a lot better in this warmer weather. Quite a bit more responsive. I'm actually surprised though, it did keep working when it was minus 30. Those little motors sure perform well. I've said it before and I think I'll say it again, this is the closest I'll get to golfing, is walking around the golf course. Not a sport that I aspire to. Still a few spots you have to be mindful of where the trees shade the path. Or there's been 2 or 3 places where water runs across the path and then there's a bit of a iceberg there. Coming back into civilization. Boo. Fairly quiet night tonight though. Down into the tunnel. It's a little icy here. Baby steps. Feel a bit more confident walking through here in the daylight, but pretty icy in here. And then, like I said before, with ice, I'm like a deer on a skating rink. All legs flailing everywhere until I land on my ass. Well, I think I've had enough. I don't feel like carrying on through the golf course because the only way out that I have seen is via the clubhouse, which is way down there. So I guess I'm going to do the hopping over the fence thing. Well, I did that a lot more daintily than I normally do. Well, I'm about 10 minutes from finishing my walk, and it's so nice to be still doing it in the daylight. That is where I like daylight savings, where it pushes the extra light hour into the evening. I'm gonna head down through the school area to get out of the noisy part of the street. When I slipped on that icy hill in White Mud Park, I think I bruised my knees a little bit. They're both kind of barking like a dog. I think the wind is blowing in that dog food smell again. Either that or it's somebody's lousy barbecuing. I mentioned it before that there's a dog food plant to the west of us, a few kilometers, and when the wind comes from that direction, every now and again you get a whiff of sticking your face into a bag of dog food. And again, with my sensitive nose, not the most happy smell to me. There's a guy training his puppy out in the field. They were chasing the ball. I think the dog looked like it was 6 months old. Really young anyways. Cute looking little blue heeler. Kind of looked like a blue heeler, but had a little bit longer hair. God, dogs are cute at that age. And they grow up to be dogs. And again, my favorite dog is somebody else's dog. Well, just about coming to the end of a didn't want to do it walk. But I know how easy it would be just to be lazy, and how quickly the habit of walking would be broken so fast. I had to drag my ass out of the house. And then I really like it when I'm out. It's just that initial getting started part. Street lights are just turning on when we get home. Let's see how we did tonight. Well, that was exactly 6 kilometers in an hour and 10 minutes, so pretty good pace. I know I could get that pace up to just about 5 kilometers an hour when the streets are clear. No real elevation changes or anything on this walk, pretty flat. So, good walk. Glad I got out. How many steps did I do here? And a total of 14,300 steps for the day, if you're counting those. So, not a lot of people count steps because it's ambiguous. 10,000 steps a day was just a made-up number. And if you're kind of sedentary, if you get up and do 2,000 steps, that's a move in the right direction. Until the next one.